Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show where we discuss tips, tricks and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. We are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news, information and opinions. And we encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. Now, on with the show. This morning, I am joined by two tired Guardians who've had to get up at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Well, I'm not actually joined by them just yet. I'm the only one here. And, here's one now.
Welcome to Early Morning Stuttering with Parody. Watch as he tries to read. See if he can say words. It'll be exciting to find out.
So joining me this week, for now anyway, until Respawn wakes up, is just Parody. And we are going to go through just a few of the things that have been leaked over on Reddit concerning the roadmap for the end of the season. And that is the Tribute Hall and the Moments of Triumph, which are coming up on July 9th. And then July 30th, you've got Solstice of Heroes. So it's technically spoilers, not because you're kind of going to be playing the game in the next couple of weeks. So it's nothing too spoilery. But if you want, I will put timestamps in the show notes so that you can skip past these bits. The following information has been data mined and posted on Reddit by JP Deathblade, and the information could change. It's not 100% clear as to the objectives as yet. But moving into Tribute Hall, which Bungie haven't really said much about, they say in the leaks anyway, it's a golden hall of wonders created by the Emperor to celebrate your legacy. Cost of the following may be reduced by delivering boons of opulence to the Visage of Callus. Boons of opulence delivered to the Visage of Callus in the Tribute Hall to increase your tribute discount by 1%, and the maximum discount is 80%. Not 100% sure what that all means. Parody, have you got any idea?
You're going to bring a thing to Callus. He's going to like it to some degree. You're going to do it again. It's the good old Bungie way of run over here, kill the lads, run back over there, kill more lads.
Yeah.
So I also read through all of this going, I'm sure this will make sense in the moment, but I'm looking at this going, I don't know what you want me to do. Which is fair enough. It's all data mined at leaked, so it's quest steps and maybe they aren't all in the same order or right, or who knows.
I think the thing is, it's just going to be like we do now with the Menagerie, where you get the boons to drop, that you're going to get something to drop that's going to be this boon of opulence that you can then trade at the Visage of Callus for something else. And they're just going to drop randomly in the game, I guess. So you'll just play the game as normal and you'll get these things to drop as and when. There'll probably be different farming methods for different areas and things like that. But they've given a few examples. Well, they've given all the examples in the leaks of the different tributes that you can get with enemy themes. So just for an example, we'll give you the Fallen ones. A tribute with the power to simulate a nimble Fallen Shank, the first of 5 available Fallen themed tributes. And then we've got exactly the same with the Fallen Dreg, and that's the second of available Fallen themed tributes. Then you have the Fallen Vandal, which is the third of 5. Fallen Captain, 4th of 5. And then you've got the Scorched Cannon, a favourite weapon of the Fallen, which is the 5th and final available for the Fallen themed tributes. And I mean, the list goes on with Hive, Cabal, Vex, and other. And then you have statuettes that you can get. It says a statuette of a Mote of Dark, a statuette of Joyful Majestic.
Yeah, of his joyful majesty, the great Emperor Callus himself. The last true hand to guide the honorable Cabal people. Yeah, so there's a ton of statues, a ton of things we're going to simulate. I just wonder when it says, we could when you can simulate a fallen captain, can I now teleport around a map? If I'm simulating a Hive Ogre, do I have a giant powerful eye blast that knocks people back? I'm curious are we going to be receiving some power like these various enemy types that we can simulate, or is this something else? When I become a Scorch Cannon or a Cleaver, do I become a giant blade, or do I get set on fire and burn the world down? and yeah, and I'm wondering, the more I look at this, I'm wondering if it's the getting those boons of opulence. I wonder if it's when you complete something, it gives you that boon of opulence, which you can then take to this tribute hall and Duncan, to either Duncan the thing or what these boons are actually going to take shape as.
Yeah, I mean, it says the maximum discount is 80%, so I'm guessing the maximum that you can hold is 80 if each tribute is 1%. And then it says the rewards are you may claim only 4 rewards per day from bounties offered by the Visage of Callus. There seems to be a beam emblem for hitting the max tribute discount, and that tracks the number of tributes placed in the tribute hall earned by raising your tribute to discount rate to 80%. And that's kind of all we've got leak wise on the tribute hall. Yeah, I'm guessing this Visage of Callus is going to be another vendor, possibly on the Leviathan. Not entirely sure, or it could be on one. It could be on the barge, maybe. A bit like we had where we had the Solstice of Heroes. You had the statue in the tower that you had to go to, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have the statue there where the tree was up front.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do. I hope it's, and I hope it really is like when it says you'll get the power to simulate this or that or the other. I'm really curious about the a tribute with the power to simulate heavy ammo cache, a commonly valued resource on Earth. What in the world does that mean? Do I get unlimited heavy ammo for a day?
I mean, one of them reads a statue out of a Drake tank, a primitive combat vehicle of the Guardians of Earth. Are you going to be able to simulate a Drake tank?
Hopefully, maybe. Yeah, I'm really curious to see when
Or
they.
maybe
And
that's
again,
just the statues, actually.
Yeah, and again, it's all data mined, so it's like we're reading the descriptions. We're trying to soothsay the entrails of these descriptions, being data mined off things. When Bungie will tell us soon enough, we'll know what all this is. I'm sure someone's glitched into this area if it's in the game already somewhere.
I think it's going to be a thing of on the day we're going to find stuff out. That's all that's going to happen. It's going to be YouTube galore with all different guides and look, this does this and this does that, and you can do this and you can do that.
Yeah. I'm really curious. I hope it's a little more than it was last time around.
Well, we haven't had this tribute hall. This is what's different this year.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we haven't had the tribute hall, and there does seem to be a lot to it, but I hope it's a little more than like, go kill dregs and then you'll get a dreg boon and
maybe
then you can
bring it to like what we had at Christmas with Eva Levante, where you had to go around, do the cookies, and then take it to the different vendors. Maybe you just go to that one vendor, trade it in, and you get the chance to get masterwork cores, mod components, blue weapons, legendary weapons. You know what I mean? It's just going to be a random drop, and you just play the game. These things will come to you. You then go to that and do this, but there'll be emblems and things available for you if you do go out of your way to max stuff out, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think it's just one of those added things to what's going to be the end of the season.
Right, and that's when they, I wonder if they're going to do sort of the same thing they did at the end of D1, giving us sort of the, like the Mayhem Strike playlists and just sort of going, giving you the ability to sort of play, sort of have your end of game, blowout of we're going to make everything crazy. We're going to give you all these extra abilities, throw this extra stuff in there, and just really have fun with the game and sort of open it wide open, like they did with D1. But we'll have to see. I mean, again, I don't think the game's in a bad place. The game is probably in the best place it's been in its 3-year run at this point. So, I don't think they really need to go and say, okay, here's something we're really going to give you. I think it's just anything extra they give us at this point is just a cherry on top of already a great game experience.
Yeah.
Which is where we're sitting right now. So, well, we'll see.
With the data mine stuff for Moments of Triumph, we have a couple of things that's come out that says, over the next few weeks, Guardians will, and then it's blah, 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 pursue limited time solstice-themed armor sets, and again, blah, 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 challenge themselves in combat meditations on a mysterious floating island in the European Dead Zone, and another blah, 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 complete Moments of Triumph for glory and loot. And the rewards, a Moment of Triumph emblem, a Moment of Triumph sparrow, a Moment of Triumph ship, a Moment of Triumph t-shirt, available in the real world, and a Moment of Triumph seal and title. And the seal is already available in the database for you to look at, and we will link that in the show notes. And we'll also link the number that corresponds with it that you can find it. With that, Bungie on Bungie Day, which was the 7th of July, which was yesterday for us, they say, starting on July 9th, 2019, Moments of Triumph for Year 2 of Destiny 2 will become available. Players will be challenged to complete triumphs that span content throughout the solar system, from the Dreaming City to the EDZ. This year will be fairly straightforward. Complete in-game triumphs, unlock rewards. And then they list completing one Moment of Triumph reward will earn you a Moment of Triumph emblem. 5 will get you the Sparrow. 10 will get you the ship. 15 will get you the t-shirt offer from the Bungie store, and completing all the triumphs will get this seal and the title. And they say, so what's available day one? Well, we'll have triumphs for players to complete throughout the various activities and releases. Players who own Destiny 2 will have the ability to earn all in-game rewards. In order to earn the 2019 Moment of Triumph t-shirt offer, players will need to own Destiny 2 Forsaken to complete all 2019 triumphs and unlock their title. Then they list what the triumphs are: Legendary Valor, Crucible Pinnacle Arms, Vanguard Pinnacle Arms, Nothing Left to Say, The Vault, Mythic. It's very vague what they go into. And then they say Solstice of Heroes is Strike Spelunker, Exotic Arsenal, Gun for Hire, etc., etc. And you can go to This Week at Bungie to see what they put on their webpage for this. And they say Solstice of Heroes will also bring some new loot for players to earn this summer. Keep your eyes peeled, and we'll have a blog article on July 24th to show off the upcoming event. And Moments of Triumph will be available from the 7th of July through to the 27th of August, and that's 2019. But with the leaks, we have the list of some of the triumphs that you need to do in order to complete it. And did you want to take us through it, Parody?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here are our data mined current objectives. We're going to achieve a Valor rank of Legend in any season, and that's just the quick, Crucible quick play. So you don't go into comp for this. So complete a mission, Nothing Left to Say. Complete the Crown of Sora raid. Reach a Mythic division in Gambit. Complete the Last Wish raid. Complete the dungeon, The Shattered Throne, and complete the Scourge of the Past raid. So pretty raid heavy, but I think if I remember back to the Moments of Triumph from D1, I think it was go beat Crota, go finish off Atheon in the Vault of Glass. So the raids have always been go do a raid, which will be the nice thing. There's will be a lot of people trying to LFG raids when this comes out to get these triumphs done. And we've also it's also worth noting that Eva has 3 classified sparrows attached to her, and we'll put links in there if you want to take a look at where those are in the data mined bits that they found so far. And there's also some other strings that allure to the Moment of Triumph achievements, which they're saying is probably going to be earn a Gambit Pinnacle Weapon from any season, earn a Vanguard Pinnacle Weapon from any season, earn a Crucible Pinnacle Weapon from any season, complete some number of runs through the Black Armory Forges, complete bounties throughout the system, masterwork any piece of Majestic Solstice armor, complete weekly challenges throughout the system, amass gear in your collections. Obtain the complete Majestic Solstice of Heroes 2019 armor set, fully upgrade the Chalice of Opulence, and win a Gambit Prime match while wearing a full set of Notorious armor. So, sort of just like what it was in D1, the Moments of Triumph are always just play the game. Have played a lot of the game, and there's some of these, I mean, heck, all the raids in here I haven't finished yet. There's tons of stuff that, people haven't done. So this is always a good time where people are always rushing to at least get one raid clear or to try to grind for this armor set. So it's a good time if you're working on something. Odds are there'll be a lot of other people working on that same thing. So the LFGs are usually thick with people all trying to accomplish one thing or another, which is great.
We have some extra information about the Solstice of Heroes quest steps. So it's going to be very similar. I don't know if a lot of people were around last year for the Solstice of Heroes, but you got a set of gear at the beginning of Solstice, and it was a broken set of gear that you then had to upgrade whilst doing various different activities in the game. Ikora would offer different story missions each day, which would have different modifiers on and different burns. So it's different to how it was originally in Destiny to year 1. And I think that's how we kind of progressed into Destiny 2 Forsaken. So it says that you have to strengthen your drained Solstice armor set and connect it to the light, completing armor objectives. And you had to wear the full set of armor, if I'm not mistaken, and go and do like a nightfall. That would then upgrade that piece of item for you to then masterwork it towards the end. And again, it says, with your completed drained Solstice armor set equipped, return to the Statue of Heroes to meditate. And then you have to strengthen your renewed Solstice armor set by connecting to the light and completing objectives, and then return to the Solstice statue again, meditate, and then show Evie your fully restored Majestic Solstice armor set. So that's just basically what we had to do last year. And I will link a video in the show notes of the Solstice stuff for last year and the quest steps, because it's probably going to be very similar. And if anybody wants to check that out, I will link a video for you.
Yeah, and I remember this also came with a light boost, because I think it wasn't this how you get. I think the resplendent armor was that final level of Solstice gear last time around, and that would bring your light level up to 400. So I wonder if we're going to see a small light level boost. So we'll get to 790 or 800 with this event as well, which will make the heroic menagerie a little bit easier.
That was it, yeah, because we were at 385, weren't we? And then this armor gave you the extra
I think
boost.
Each of the three things give you. Yeah, I feel like it was each piece gave you 5 extra, points of light. It was like the only armor in the game that was the entire point to grind for. It was the only armor in the game that would give you any higher light than the current cap.
And the weapons you could only get at 400 from doing the raid, if I believe that was correct. I mean, they haven't said that's the case this year. They've just said there's just different armor sets.
But again, they said nothing about it yet.
Yeah, I don't think they said that last year. Early on, it was when they did the blog post that it all came out. This is what's going to happen, and this is what you're going to have to do. So, upgrading the drain set, it says complete runs through the European aerial zone, land precision final blows, and defeat hive combatants. Loot chests in the European aerial zone. So this is going to be that floating taken rock, I guess, that we've seen in some of the trailers. It's going to be a new area in the EDZ that we're going to be able to go to and do different things, as they said, with the different armor sets. But this is for Solstice, so this is what's going to come at the end of July. You've got things like collect solar orbs in strikes, defeat opponents in Crucible and Gambit, complete public events on Nessus with void orbs. Then upgrading your renewed set, you then have to do void kills, subclass kills, defeat teams of opposing guardians in Crucible or Gambit using arc weapons, complete heroic public events, and so on and so forth until you've fully masterworked those sets, upgrading it to the Majestic set. And to upgrade the Majestic set, you have to complete a Prestige Nightfall with a score of 200,000 or better. Now, there are a hell of a lot of videos out there that show you how to get over 100,000. So there's going to be a few more probably popping up in the next couple of weeks. But because we don't know what Nightfalls are going to be for that set of weeks of Solstice of Heroes, it's going to be hard to determine which ones you're going to be best to practice on. So until they come up, it's probably best to keep an eye on YouTube, or we'll keep an eye on YouTube and let you guys know as and when they come up which ones are probably the best guides to follow. You also have to play Strikes with clanmates, complete the Dungeon Shattered Throne in the Dreaming City with fire team of 2 players or fewer, reset your Season 7 Valor ranking in Crucible, and defeat challenging combatants throughout the system. And as we had last year, there were ornaments for your, I think it was for your fully upgraded pieces of armor, wasn't it, Parody? You had Solar, Arc, and Void, which made the armor glow. And I believe that you can do that again this year.
Yeah, and then a fully upgraded armor looked really nice. It gave it the nice glow that we had with some of the other ornaments in the game. That was the armor set that I got part of the way upgrading it, and then just sort of gave up with it, and summer got in the way. But I'm curious to do it this time around and actually max it all out.
Yeah,
especially since there's no D3 on the horizon. There's no, we know Shadowkeep is coming, but there's no. We're going back to the moon, but it's not like we're again, last time I was sitting here going, okay, D2 is right around the corner. Why am I going to max out this armor and stuff when I'm going to be playing a whole new game soon? And this is, we're going to be playing a whole new game, but it's going to be the same game. It's going to be very, I think the world's going to grow a lot because going free to play, we're going to have a lot more people in here. We're going to have, the Stadia will be a thing. Granted, we can't play with them, but, cross save is a thing, which will invite more people to play on different consoles if they have them. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this, I'm a little more excited about doing this grind this year. I'll probably jump in and, we'll get some of these raids knocked out, or at least try to during this time.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be retroactive. That's what it was last year. If you've already done the raid, then you don't need to worry about it because it's already retroactive.
That's what I was wondering too.
Your account knows that you've done it.
Yeah, I was about to say, should we work on our 2-man throne clear?
I think you might have to do that during the weeks that it actually comes up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, which or really during the week that it comes up. Or well, I guess they've said it's going to run from end of July to the end of August, but even then, that's only 3-4 weeks. So that's if they keep the rotation the same, that's only 1 maybe 2 weeks to try it. Now, granted, they might mess with the rotation and say, hey, during this event, it's available full time, but again, we'll see.
Possibly. I mean, there could come a possible end to the curse in the Dreaming City that comes with the Solstice of Heroes that we don't know about. It could be detailed towards the end of the season. That's why the Shattered Throne's up constantly, and then after that, it'll just be gone, kind of thing, or it'll be constantly open, but the curse will be broken.
Yeah, the curse is broken, and now all things are available to you. Yeah, and we've got a little more information about our European aerial zone. So it's a ceremonial combat theater designed for training and meditation, which sounds like Crucible to me. But the Vanguard is dispatching Guardians to the EAZ for combat drills and meditation. Join them. Solar arc and void energies blast through the EAZ, filling the air with the smell of sun-baked ozone and potential. Equip your Solar Arc or Void subclasses and weapons to generate Solar Arc or Void orbs, and collect them to become become Solar Arc or Void empowered. So while empowered, Guardians emit a burning wave of energy. So
that sounds very similar to other things that we've had to collect the orbs. Wasn't that in the Evil of Antiva, the forest?
Yeah, collect the orbs and bring them back and do something with them. So yeah, it seems.
Yeah, you had extra orbs dropping that for it would give you Solar Arc or Void empowerment and things like that.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder. Are we going to become a little overpowered in ways, or is it just going to be if you're running a Void subclass, is your Void damage output going to be boosted, and your Void your Void damage you're doing going to be greater, and then the Void damage you're taking going to be lessened because you're now strong to Void or immune to Void, or I guess we're going to see what sort of aerial zone combat we're going to have. Are we going to be flying around in ships? Is Cheese going to get his wish to get some aerial combat here in the European aerial zone?
But it sounds fun.
Is this going to be a big aircraft carrier we're all going to jump around on?
I think anything that's happening at the end of the season is stuff for Guardians to collect and then show off to the new Guardians that are coming September. And it's always been that, look at my emblem, look at my armor, look at my weapons. You're a newbie kind of thing. But I'll take you under my wing. We'll show you the different things that you can do. But you can't get this stuff because this stuff was, you had to be there kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I worked hard for this. Yeah. And it's also, I know a time like in the last go around where, again, it gave you a reason. Again, if you haven't run the raids, if you haven't finished one of your pinnacle weapons, it sort of gave you an extra reason to do that, to say, hey, go finish this up and we'll give you a little extra something for it. Whereas if you've already done the work, great, but hey, here's a reason to jump into raids. Here's a reason to finish that Gambit grind or that Crucible grind. Yeah. So it puts a lot of more people in activities that may not normally play them, which I know anytime there's anything that says go into competitive Crucible, I'm right there with those folks. Doing the thing I'm trying to get done, but also just, hey, it's a little, the world's a little wider, a little more friendly to play in. Like when we were all running our Lumina quests and we would jump into Gambit matches and invade and then run to the center and dance and go, all right, here we are, kill me, helping somebody out with their quest line, which was about a 50-50 shot of people actually invading to kill us with hammerheads and people running out and just saying, hey, I'm just trying to help you guys get this done. Let's see how this goes.
I think the same thing, like we were saying, that most of the stuff is going to be retroactive in your Solstice or Moments of Triumph. The same, I think, with the armor. You only have to do it on one character, if I remember rightly, for it to unlock your Triumph. You didn't have to get it on all 3 characters. I think last year there was a ship that was available that you had to then unlock it on all 3 characters, if I'm not wrong. You had to have got the resplendent armor on the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock. There were a lot of people that were upset about that. You had to have all 3 classes, and you had to have upgraded them to the max. So there was a very limited edition ship that came with that. I haven't heard that they're going to be doing that this year. Could do.
Yeah, they may have learned their lesson or just said it's not worth it's not worth the small reward for the small number of people who may or may not use it, care about it. Who knows? Oh, and the next thing, I'm tempering my expectations on Solar Week, friends. Solar Week.
You're too excited about Arc Week, but this week
I was so excited about Arc Week. We're gonna have Solar Week. Solar Week has swept the system, imbuing all Guardians with enhanced solar energy. In response, Lord Saladin has declared a week of celebration. I'm not sure who made him the king of solar, but apparently he's the king of all solar. So basically, it looks like this is going to be sort of what Arc Week turned out to, is a rework of the solar classes, solar subclasses. So many solar subclass paths have been refreshed and improved. Visit Bungie.net for more details, which they don't have up yet.
No.
Many tower vendors are offering bounties to solar wielders. Complete them in style by participating in solar Singe activities. And new solar-themed emotes are now available in the Eververse store. And again, this is all data mined, so these things will be available, will be happening. And again, it looks very similar to Arc Week. We're gonna rework the solar subclasses. We're gonna give you some solar challenges. Go be solar. Don't get too excited about it because it's not going to be all that you hope it will be.
What I find interesting about this, they say Lord Saladin. Mm-hmm. So is this going to be during an Iron Banner week?
I hope so. I would love a solar Iron Banner.
It sounds like it. If it's Lord Saladin, it sounds like it's going to be in Iron Banner week. And if I'm not wrong, it's not this week coming up the 9th. It's going to be the week of the 16th. If it's in the 4-week rotation, which most of the time it is, should be next week that we have Iron Banner. And maybe we get Solar Week next week. Maybe it's going to be in the TWAB come this Thursday. Solar Week, Lord Saladin, Iron Banner, Solstice, all this amazing stuff. It's going to be crammed into 1 week.
Yeah, I mean, although I'm looking now, Bungie in the small amount of official information they have actually released to us did say Moments of Triumph will be available this July 7th, which is yesterday, but I don't know what's available. But it'll be available from July 7th through August 27th. So we are going to have, so basically it seems like at reset tomorrow, we're going to start it. And then we're going to have essentially almost 2 full months of, Moments of Triumph time. So that should be, again, a couple of weeks of Shattered Throne, a couple of weeks of Iron Banner, assuming they don't, again, break the curse or mess with the timelines. So we are going to, for some reason, I was thinking it was a much shorter event. But yeah, so we are going to have almost 2 months of time to get these things done. So we could have at least a couple opportunities at Iron Banner, at Throne, and all these things. Again, unless they mess with the timeline and just say, hey, Lord Saladin's moved in. He's here all the time now. He decided to come say hi. But I'm guessing if it's Solar Week, it's just going to be the week.
With Solar Week, I mean, you remember Arc Week. What did we get in Arc Week? What exclusive thing? We've got a new exotic weapon, didn't we?
That is true. We did get the Thunderlord out during Arc Week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which would make sense. I mean,
there's been some other data mined information that go along with Solar Week. And it says, there's just two lines of text. Scattered pieces of a greater whole and rocket launcher components. So questions have been asked. Could this finally be the holy grail of rocket launchers from Destiny 1, the Galahorn? Or could it be the other exotic solar grenade launcher from Destiny 1, the Dragon's Breath? Galahorn was like the ultimate weapon that everybody was seeking from Destiny 1. It was like the holy grail. It was the hardest thing to get for some people and the easiest thing for some others to get.
Mm-hmm. I kind of hope they don't bring it back. I mean, talk about the game being in sort of a decent spot where they've nerfed the guns that are just completely overpowered. If they were doing to D1 what they've done to D2, they would have done something drastic to the Galahorn. It was a tracking rocket launcher that had Wolfpack rounds. So basically, it was a tracking rocket launcher that would then have smaller rockets swarm you and track you and kill you. There was no escape from it. It was the go-to weapon in every single raid and every single everything. You fire that weapon and things die. It's like tracking. It wasn't quite as good as the Truth's tracking, but then it had, basically tracking cluster bombs on it to use. If you don't play D2, it was a brutal weapon in PvE, and it seems like it'll be just like Whisper if they bring that back. It's like, here's the most powerful weapon in the game, hands down. Yeah, you could use other things, but why? It's just going to decimate everything in its path. So I sort of hope. I mean, the Dragon's Breath, it would drop napalm. It would just burn the area, which again sounds like a perfect thing for Arc Week, for Solar Week. Give me something that's just straight solar, sets the world on fire, solar singe, all the things.
Yeah.
It'd be like having a Jotun on steroids. You shoot a rocket and then everything is just fire as far as the eye can see. That I think would be a better thing to use for Solar Week. But we'll find out.
I mean, with Galahorn in the final year of Destiny 1, it was nerfed. I remember the Wolfpack rounds getting a nerf, and it kind of brought the rocket launchers back in line together, and you didn't necessarily need the Galahorn to run a raid. It wasn't one of those requirements that was in a raid group at that point. You could have any other of the rocket launchers that were available. If you had a Galahorn, it was good, but it got that nerf, and a lot of people were unhappy about that. I'm on the side that you are, that I'd prefer the Dragon's Breath to come back, because with that napalm, that was good fun. You fire the rocket, it'd either hit something or you could fire it above something and then just let go of the trigger and it would just explode this napalm across the floor and just burn everything in its path. And it wasn't that amazing for DPS on bosses, but in PvP, it was good fun. PvE, it was good fun as well. You could get rid of quite a lot of the ads in the different parts of raids and strikes. So I prefer the Dragon's Breath. I've got a couple of videos for people that don't know what Galahorn is or Dragon's Breath. One is by Mr. Fruit. He does a 60-second review of the Galahorn in Year 2, which is probably what it would come back as. And Arex has done a Destiny 1 Dragon's Breath review for Year 2 in Destiny 1. So I will link those in the show notes.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm just thinking of taking the Dragon's Breath into Menagerie, into Gambit, anything when you need to just either clear ads or even just do damage to an area. I feel like the Dragon's Breath would just be a perfect weapon for that. So I'm hoping that's what we're getting on Solar Week, or hope beyond hope, something new coming out, something a new exotic, and maybe this is the time we can sort of. They did tease that new exotic at GuardianCon.
No, but I think that is for Shadowkeep.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, because why tease it now at GuardianCon? Yeah, I think it is for Shadowkeep, but it is that machine gun that looks to be powered by some sort of bug in Amber. So, I mean, this is clearly where we're getting our Defiance 2050 crossover event. It's clearly when this, maybe the European aerial zone is our first contact with the bugs from space. We have to, the moon is haunted after all. So maybe there's also giant bugs there, Defiance 2050 / Starship Trooper style, and we have to defend off giant bugs. And now we're in Shadowkeep. We're going to be having our giant, our bug powered machine gun. So that's what I'm excited about. I just want to shoot giant bugs, because service guarantees citizenship. So do you have any thoughts on our new exotic machine gun that's bug powered?
No.
Sorry. Not at all. Don't care.
I'm just reading the message we just got from Respawn. Now, yesterday
we don't acknowledge Respawn. Scheduling
yesterday,
is hard.
I sent him a message. Respawn, could you do Monday morning 6 a.m. to record? And then he's just sent me a message going, "We said 7 a.m. It's 6:35."
Yeah, I saw that too. Well, I did want to cover the TWAB real quickly, because it should just take but a minute. So DMG did, someone did ask him on Twitter, "Hey, are we getting a TWAB this week?" So I want to go over the TWAB. So DMG writes, "This week at Bungie, we aren't at Bungie. We'll have a Bungie Day blog post on Sunday. Until then, we're boots on the ground in Florida at GuardianCon." There's your TWAB for this week. So if you're looking for one, there wasn't one. This week at Bungie, they aren't at Bungie. There is no Bungie. Bungie does not exist. So on to the Clan Finder. So Guardian Radio used to do a segment where they would highlight a clan each week for people to contact and join. Clan leaders would send in details of their clan to the podcast so they could find more active members. So we thought we would continue this legacy in this segment. We would like people to send in details of their clan so we can highlight them each week. Give us the name of your clan, your platform, what kind of guardians you're looking for, what activities does your clan do, your contact details, what shaders you prefer, what emotes people should have, what your qualifications are for a proper clan member. So yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea. I mean, really, you should join the Frozen clan, but we tend to fill up fairly quickly because our fashion
we're only
game
on
is
Xbox.
truly
That's why I
exclusive,
thought
and we're only
every
on
week
Xbox.
you plug Frozen, and I thought it'd be nice if somebody else wrote in and said, "Oh, we're a PS4 clan, we're looking for more members," or "We're a PC clan, we're looking for more members." Like you said, it was something that Garden Radio used to do. And I think they got a lot of traction of people writing in and saying, "This is my clan. We do this. We're either dads of Destiny, and we play evenings and things like this, or we're really hardcore. We're into trials. We're into comp. We want people to join. Things like that." And I think it kind of got the community flowing a lot more.
And this, if I had my world together, would be where I plug our good friends at the Guardian Hub who play over on PS4 and on PC. Our good friends Kingsley Mack and Sin Media. They are on PS4 and PC, so they must be in a clan of some sort. So if you haven't checked out their podcast at the Guardian Hub, jump into their Discord and say, "Hey guys, I need friends." They're always looking for people to run raids with. They're good dudes. Go join them on the PS4 side, on the PC side. So that's my clan plug for this week. I don't know the name of their clan because, again, were I prepared, I would have this information for you. Yeah,
but we will link their Discord in the show notes because we hang out there as well and chat to those guys and chat to a lot of other content creators in there. So it's a good place for you to kind of meet up and just chat.
Yeah. Again, we're totally Xbox focused just because that's where we happen to live. So it's nice to point people in other directions and really just inspect people while you're playing. Look for the funniest clan name and join that one. That's usually the requirement. I've definitely Frozen is the wife. I have many clan mistresses where I go, if we could have some sort of clan alliances, which Bungie, if you're listening, I would love to have some sort of like sister clan, brother clan, some sort of like clan alliance. Which again, if you're going to ever bring back faction rallies or any sort of rally big community event, this would be a lot of fun. You could ally yourselves with different clans and say, okay, our clan is going to do this, that, or the other. Or you could throw down challenges and say, hey, our clan is going to challenge you to, Gambit matches this week or number of primevals, something like that. I think it would be a lot of fun, even if it wasn't in the game itself. All of this data is available to us through Bungie's APIs. It wouldn't be, again, for people who know what they're doing. You could build a system to say, hey, we're going to do some sort of, competition between clans or groups of clans. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I think it'd just be fun to ally with people in clans because you can only have, 100 people in your clan, and you go, well, that clan, their name is hilarious and there's some good dudes over there, but, I'm going to stay in the clan I'm in because that's how I find all these people without adding them all to my friends list. And that way, when people join the clan, you get, it's an extra list of friends you can tap into.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be great to have, just, more people to play the game with. So Bungie, if you're listening, give us some sort of either let us have more people in the clan or let us ally with the clan, especially now that we've got cross save. Let me see the people on the other platforms that I could be playing with in theory, or harass them to get off their PS4 and jump onto their Xbox and join me.
So we've managed to rush through most of this podcast. This is amazing. There's not much news apart from the leak stuff. So now we've got to the part past all the leaks and past all the spoilers and anything else. And we've got the last tips and tricks for the week. Next week, if I'm reading the pop-up that came on my screen earlier today, we have Mayhem available in Crucible next week. So it's another good week to grind out runes for your chalice.
I love Mayhem. That makes me very happy.
Also, as a reminder, it will be the Trials by Wit Gambit Benedict bounties for this week. And you, again, can progress those Gambit bounties that you don't have to go into Gambit. So, like exploring Lost Sectors or Crucible kills, Drifter offers those daily. So, rather than going to Gambit and you want to stick in Mayhem and double up on what you're doing, then you can do that. And then something I always forget to remind people, and this week I've got it in there on the right week, your Truth to Power lore. So you can get a second Truth to Power lore card if you do the Blind Well this week and hold on to your offering until the reset and visit but don't open the chest until after the reset. And I will link a Cheese Forever Truth to Power guide video for how to do that. So you'd be able to get the drop for this week and then the week 3 drop in week 3 as well. So if you're behind like I am on your Truth to Power lore, then that could be an easy way or a helpful way for the next 6 weeks to kind of get you back up on track.
Our good friend Destiny Fun Police has an Austringer tip. He recommends the extended barrel, which gives you plus 10 to range, over full bore, which is plus 15 to range, but then you lose 10 stability because you don't want to lose that stability on a hand cannon on a console. So Destiny Fun Police says use the extended barrel over the full bore on your Austringer. And Lucky with 2 Ys, as in Lucky and BW, which is no more, sadly, rest in peace. Lucky has a tip. Use Middle Tree Striker Titan with the perk where you slide over the ammo because it'll increase your weapon damage by 20%. Combining this with the new exotic hand cannon Lumina, where the noble rounds give you and an ally a damage buff that you can stack in PvP and can result in 2-tapping Guardians. He also notes that the buff to Lumina does not stack with a Warlock well. And Fallout Plays has a 1-minute guide for anyone who still hasn't started their quest. You don't need to have the exotic hand cannon Thorn to start this quest. You can do the Thorn quest at the same time and pick them up at the same time. Or like our friend Pan, you can do the Truth quest with your Lumina quest at the same time and try to keep things straight about whether you're shooting things with rocket launchers or hand cannons or what you're trying to do. Yeah, but it is good to know, you can do these quest steps at the same time. And I know the Thorn has some similar things to the Lumina, so you can try to sort of knock them out. I was running with somebody this week. It's like, oh, I've got a Thorn quest step done. It's like, oh, yeah. So if there's things you haven't done, now's a good time, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And again, we'll link all these in the show notes. And our good friend Cheese Forever has put out a lot of videos in the last week, but one that you may have missed is his video on how to get infinite feeding frenzy on exotics and all equipped weapons. It basically involves having 2 different weapons with feeding frenzy on it, switching back and forth. And he's got a quick video guide to show you how to do that. One of his recommendations, Glitch Tutorial, has a good video on how to farm mods. This tip can only be done when the Tingled Shore is the flashpoint of the week, so that's this week, so get on it once you hear this show. It'll be one to remember when this comes up again. You have to do the daily heroic story mission to farm the Baron armor when it drops. It will always include a mod, but it has a drop limit which you can bypass. Which I think this was the thing he was saying. Go do the heroic story mission. Get the thing to drop, die, come back, do it again. Basically, get the drop or run it over and over again. Anyway, here's a video that will explain it better than I can.
You can go into it, get the drop, and then abandon it, and then go back to it. It will bypass the drop limit that you can come up against, that you can only get 1 per day, I think it is.
Yeah, it'll give you something with a mod in it. You break it down, you'll get whatever mod is in that.
Yeah.
In that gear that you've received.
Also, following on from Cheese's information in the last podcast regarding scavenger perks and reserve perks being bugged, Rastophilis, quite freakily, had done a video in the last week where he tested fusion rifle scavenger versus reserves, and he gives his recommendations for the best one to go for because they seem to kind of work very similarly. As Cheese was saying, it's something that's bugged and doesn't work according to its description. But Rastophilis' video is quite, straightforward with how he tests it and explains, which one's the best one to go for. Following on from the Callus mini-tool video we highlighted last week, with it being comparable to the Pinnacle Crucible submachine gun, the Recluse, in PvE with the right perks. And I think that was by Lucky. So Bandwipe, who was his Twitch partner, has an interesting video on a Crucible submachine gun, the Hard Truths. Now, every time I've got one of these, I've dismantled it and just kind of gone, look at the stability on that. I'm not having that. That's rubbish. And just binned it. But this is a kinetic weapon, which means it doesn't use the crowded energy slot. And he goes over the damage output and compares it to the Recluse and the Master of Arm perks on the Recluse and shows you the damage drop-off points for both weapons. And he also has a gameplay video where he uses the weapon in PvP. And this weapon can be farmed in the Merengue or using Crucible tokens to farm for a role. And I will link both videos of testing versus the Recluse and his PvP gameplay. But I thought it was quite interesting because the stability on that weapon is literally next to nothing. but it, the headshot damage and the body damage seems to be higher than the recluse, and that's without the Master of Arm perks. But the damage fall off for the recluse is a lot. You have to be a lot closer to the Guardian to take them out, whereas with the hard truths, you can be a lot further away, and that's a really interesting weapon to look at if somebody doesn't want to take the time to go and farm for a recluse. It looks to be a very good weapon. I'm going to use my tokens and see if I can get one to drop.
Yeah, I've done the same thing you have. I've gotten them to drop it, and I can't use that. I have to walk right up to someone and basically put the barrel on their head and go, "I'm going to shoot you now," and hit anything.
Mm.
So it's interesting that it's a more powerful thing. Although I'm not sure it's going to win out over the pulse rifles I usually run with, because even though I'm close range, I've never gotten the hand of submachine guns. Even running the dual submachine gun builds, I've done that through Menagerie, but I generally don't take it into Crucible with me.
Well, what's confusing about it is that the stability on it is really next to nothing. But he was using it, and it didn't seem to be very unstable. It seemed to be very good.
Was he playing on console or on PC?
I think he might have been on PC.
I can no longer keep track of who plays on what anymore.
I think that's the problem sometimes, is that unless you're watching the video and you go, "Oh, hang on a minute, it's the cursor."
Right. Yeah. I always have to ask myself, it's like, this is great. Yeah, but what are you playing it on? Because PS4 and Xbox, it was less of a big deal, but now it's like, okay, if you're on PC, well, that's a whole other world, basically, in terms of weapons and how they work and how they function. So
the Messiah has arrived.
So we're not going to talk about how we're not in the podcast channel and how you guys are already recording when we said 7 o'clock.
It said 6 o'clock on the thing.
It said 7.
It said 6.
It said 7.
6.
It did say 6 because I have to be out of here about 7.
Oh, maybe that's where I saw the 7.
We guessed that.
Oh. All right. My Ermail is now Erpin.
Okay.
Good. All right. You may continue on, Jared. Holy moly. Wow, that was intense. Whoa. All right. You may continue, gentlemen.
So one of the big things in PvP this week hasn't been the exotic hand cannon Lumina, but rather than the legendary form of the weapon, which was the Rose. Have you guys seen this popping up?
I have seen this. Yeah, it's supposed to be a really good legendary hand cannon that if you go back in your inventory after you've got the Lumina, you can pull it out and it's got like a ranged masterwork by default.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Or it sounds pretty cool. However, in practice, it sounds like it's kind of annoying if everybody in PvP is using it.
Well, I found this information out from watching MTash this week. I mean, his channel's really exploded with the amount of Destiny videos he's put out. He's back on track with Destiny. He was the first one that popped up on my feed, said, "You've got to check out this hand cannon." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll go and look at it." And yeah, it comes out as your collection with a range masterwork. And it's nothing really much to look at. It's got accurized rounds, it's got outlaw, and I think it's got it's got a grip on it.
Okay.
But it works better than the Midnight Coup. So Midnight Coup is around the same RPM. I think it's 150 RPM. But he shows you versus the Midnight Coup, the recoil pattern that goes up this wall, and then he shows you the Rose, and it's more constrained and tighter, and it's easier to control, he said. So for people that like the Midnight Coup in year 1 or even in year 2, this is probably the best hand cannon that you can get for 150, especially with Accurize on it and a range masterwork.
What's the kickback, though? I know you were talking about the recoil direction, but how severe is the actual recoil? I haven't used it yet.
It's not that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
So are we talking like oh my god, service revolve recoil, or are we talking about the same recoil kick that the Midnight Coup has? Is just more controllable, or what are we talking here?
It's very similar to Midnight Coup.
Okay.
I'll link that MTash video about the Rose hand cannon so you guys can check that out. Destiny Fun Police did a Rose and Fighting Lion PvP gameplay video where he paired those two weapons up, and he does. I don't know. He literally,
Sorry.
He loves his Fighting Lion and anything to pair it up with, I guess. But he was showing you like literally you could fighting lion, get some damage on them, and then one shot them with a rose.
All right.
I don't know if you've seen this video by Aztecross this week, Respawn. He's got a really cool Warlock build using the Lumina hand cannon and the exotic chest piece, the Starfire Protocol. And where he pairs them with the Well of Radiance subclass, and he's claiming that it's the best healing build for support in raids and PvP. And using the perk on the chest piece, Fusion Harness, which fusion grenades have an additional charge and recharge from empowering weapon damage. And fusion grenade kills grant rift energy. The noble rounds on an ally proc the perk Benevolent Dawn. So, which when you heal or empower allies, it regenerates your grenades, melees, and rift energy. So it's kind of everything is kind of syncing and synergizing. So you can throw, those healing grenades out, yourself run through it, your team run through it. That empowers you've got constantly 2 grenades to keep yourself empowered and give yourself overshields, and then you've got the Lumina that you can then take out a Guardian and then give an extra buff to give another kill to somebody. It's insane, the video, and he calls it the Noble Protector. I thought
that's cool.
Transitioning over to Warlock would be interested in that.
I'm not transitioning. I'm not playing the Warlock any more than I have before. It's just I play Hunter, and then whenever my Hunter is maxed out for the week, I jump on the Warlock and max the Warlock out as much as I can.
Yeah, it's still a beastly build for the Warlocks. I think the Warlocks are going to get a lot of good benefit from the Lumina.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I was talking about how as much as I give Titans, they do need a PvE buff. Because right now it's all Hunters and Warlocks in PvE. Did I say PvP the first time?
No, you said PvE.
Yeah, okay. PvE. Yeah. I mean, like raids, and even Sin and Kingsley were saying, it's like, oh, I brought a Titan to a raid. It's like, why are you here? Go stand in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Go defend that front over there in the distance where we can't see you.
Guys, I just want to say, right? I was just scrolling through the notes and I saw something about a Destiny 1 Dragon Breath review.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
Well, there's Solar Week. We're getting Solar Week. Are you super excited for Solar Week? Which seems to be like Arc Week.
But I'd be even more excited if the Dragon's Breath was coming back.
Well, right.
Is that a thing?
Well, that's what we were speculating. We're saying, we got the Thunderlord back with Arc Week. So we're saying it's either going to be probably Galahorn or Dragon's Breath with Solar Week. And we're sort of both hoping it's the Dragon's Breath.
Hell yeah. And the Tychonaut. Dude, I tell you what, if the Tychonaut comes back, you might very well see me shift back to Titan. 100%, dude. Tychonaut plus Dragon's Breath was dirty.
That was fun.
In T1, man. Yeah. Oh my god. That was so dirty.
For people that weren't around for Destiny 1, the Tychonaut was an exotic helmet, wasn't it, for Titans that gave you tracking on any rocket launcher. So Dragon's Breath wasn't a tracking rocket launcher, but having that helmet gave you tracking on it. It was very good fun to use.
And then once you had all those perks that gave you heavy weapon drops guaranteed on like certain kills or whatever, literally the entire field would be covered in napalm fire. That was amazing. That was so amazing. Oh, you got enemies everywhere? Let me just cover the field in fire. Literally.
We're going to fix this. Chad, we're going to burn you and all your friends down.
No, but I mean, it would be great to get the Dragon's Breath or the Galahorn pre-nerf, but we both know what's going to happen if we get a pre-nerf, right?
Yeah, that's what we were saying about the Galahorn. There's no way they bring the Galahorn back in any capacity because they just have to nerf it immediately. Immediately.
Too much boss damage. But my guess would be, do you remember how towards the end of D1 we got the Thunderlord, and then we got the solar version of the Thunderlord, and then we got the void version of the Thunderlord?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if that is what happened instead.
No.
I'm telling you,
no,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because of the leaks that have come. They've the information that's come along with it is it's scattered pieces of a greater whole, and then underneath it says rocket launcher components. So it's one of the rocket launchers. And we were saying, because we got Thunderlord in Arc Week, and now they're saying rocket launcher, those are the only 2 solar ones that we'd really want to come back.
Definitely. Dragon's Breath fully though, because
Dragon's
I
Breath
don't
is
want to
fun.
I don't want to nerf Gallahorn, and I don't want to have a Gallahorn that's gonna get nerfed.
Yeah.
So I would 100% vote for Dragon's Breath and the Tycanot. You got to bring back the Tycanot
They're not
if you're
going to
gonna
bring
have
that
Dragon.
back just yet.
Yeah,
They have to, man.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Titans. You heard it from the hunter. Titans need a PvE boost.
Yeah, they do. And the Tycanot mixed with the Dragon's Breath is definitely the way to get them back in the game.
Now, I know you've turned up a
There you
little
go.
bit late, but something I just wanted to point out to you that Parody was reading.
What's that?
Lucky from Lucky and Butt White pointed out if you use Middle Tree Striker Titan, where you slide over an ammo brick, it doesn't matter if it's special, heavy, or primary, it will give your weapon damage a 20% buff. That stacks with the Lumina, with the Noble Round that you can get.
So you heal an extra 20%? Is that what I'm getting?
No. You know when you heal an ally with the Lumina, it gives you a Noble Round. It gives you a buff for killing the next enemy.
I thought the Noble Round was the round that you use to heal your allies.
Yeah, you heal your ally, but you and your ally get a damage buff for a certain period of time. That stacks with the sliding over the ammo.
Yeah, and the buff from the Lumina, I think, is 10 seconds. It gives you and your ally both. So you've got 10 seconds of additional damage to go deal.
And then you slide over ammo and get another 20% damage. And I think Lucky was saying that he gets he can 2-tap Guardians with like service revolvers and things like that.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's so kind of.
You have to be a Titan.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So,
but anyway,
there was one last thing that I thought was quite interesting. That MTash again had done another video where he goes over his thoughts on how the chess nerf in the Menagerie should work and how it's going to affect the game going forward. And he gives a brief idea on how much time it would take to farm compared to the current situation. It's like before the nerf. And in his video, he shows you that he has 70 waking vigils because at the moment he's on a crusade to kind of get the perfect waking vigil from the farm. But he still doesn't have a god roll. And, 70 of these weapons, and he's going through, he's looking for specific rolls on these weapons, and he still doesn't have it. And I think he was worried that, I think like a lot of people, that one run through equals one chest open isn't.
Yep.
It doesn't seem to be fair now. Although, yes, Bungie are saying, that was a thing. Yes, we'll give it to you for now. But why isn't it a thing? Why isn't it a change of tack from Bungie going forward, saying, okay, well, we'll give you 3 or 4 chests.
Yeah, but only the first one would be empowered, or the first 3 if you have that unlocked on your chalice.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was saying before. It's whenever I saw that long timer, I was under the impression that this was in fact supposed to be a thing. Otherwise, why get the long timer? And you guys were all saying it was for the lore and everything, which does make sense. But at the same time, how long is the Menagerie? And you go through all that nonsense only for one chest drop. The only reason that would make sense is if you had minor chests after each encounter.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But if you're doing that whole encounter for one loot drop,
well, I think it would have to work in reverse, wouldn't it? Because you could do, I think it's if you do 2 menageries or 2 of the encounters and you complete them to the fullest, that's it. It gets you to the boss really quickly, doesn't it? So with that, you could only potentially get 3 chests. So I think they'd have to kind of give you 2 chests for each of those first 2 encounters. So you get 4, and then the 5th one at the boss. And maybe like the first couple of chests are just random drops. It could be anything, nothing tied to your chalice. Whereas the end one is the chalice, selected weapon or armor piece. Maybe they should work it like that. I think what they're going to do is see how it goes and see how many people continue with playing Menagerie, whereas what they've got at the moment. I mean, they've got the numbers, and I thought MTash's video was quite interesting, and I will link that in the show notes. It's going to be a continued discussion, isn't it, going forward? People are going to say, we want it back to how it was.
Definitely. I think it would be. I don't know if Destiny would actually grant that. But at the same time, how long does it take on average for just you get the 2 right to begin with, and then you go straight to the end room? We're looking at like 30 minutes,
Well,
20
yeah, I
minutes?
mean, if you're speed running, I believe people were saying you could do it in 10 minutes, but then you're going to get people that drop in and out. You're not going to get a
Mhm.
consistent group that go for 2-3 hours of just constant farming. You're going to get somebody to go, oh, I've got the perfect roll on the first one. They're off. You've then got to search for somebody else to come in. You've got flying in times. You've got, all these other possibilities that could then stretch the time out. And you're looking at maybe 15, 20 minutes per run, and you only get one drop. And I understand people were saying at the moment, if you do a strike, you're not guaranteed to get, a specific weapon, even from Nightfall. If you speed run a Nightfall, that's 10, 15 minutes. You could get the Nightfall exclusive weapon, but again, that's not a guaranteed drop. Why should Bungie give you, 2 or 3 drops at the end of something? But then why couldn't they? Why is it not a different change of pace from them?
I mean, I thought it was a great way to mix up the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I wasn't like, "Aha, this is so jacked up. We're gonna exploit the hell out of this." No, because I didn't find it to be an exploit, right? Because you still got to get all those different random rolls.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, even your boy Imtash, as you were talking about earlier, he's got like 70, and he still doesn't have the roll he's looking for. Imagine having to do 70 separate runs to get that number.
Hmm.
Even then, he had to have gone through at least 10 runs, right? So that took a while just for those 10 runs to get those 70.
But
Or not
then
10 runs,
you've got to
sorry.
factor in the fact that you've then got to go and get the runes, because you don't get all those runes back. So
Yeah,
I was trying to farm for an Austringer this week, and I went to like 25 tokens. That's it. I'm out. I can't do hand cannons at the moment. I've now got to go and play other stuff to get those to drop, and they're not a guaranteed drop. Oh, this one, if I go and do strikes, I'm going to get the hand cannon
exactly.
rune to drop. It's I've got to continue just playing the game, get those runes to drop, and then I've got to go into the menagerie.
Yeah, I think it's perfect the way it is. 100%. I keep saying that.
I mean, last week I
But
was kind of on the, I was on the fence with it because I could see both sides of the argument, not having played it as much, had done the cheese and, enjoyed it. But then one of the perks that I noticed on the Chalice is that it gives you the chance of getting a double drop. And I was like, this is amazing, because I think where I was farming for the Ostring, I got like 3 double drops in one go. And I was like, cool. But they were garbage rolls. There's 6 weapons, garbage rolls. Yep. And I'm still playing the game. It's still going back in. So even when I do get my Austringer, I want to then go back and get my sniper. I want to go back and get my Callus mini tool. I want to get my Drang. I want to go and get. There's a hard truths. There's, I've got an Erentil. Might be a god roll, but again, I could give me the potential to go back in again. And I haven't played it as much as some of the streamers and other YouTubers, and just the general public don't get as much time to farm and get their god rolls. I mean, there's so many different weapons that you can get from it. And then the armor, like we were talking previous, weren't we? You're not going to stop at getting a specific enhanced armor set. You'll want everything enhanced. You want hand cannon, you want fusion rifle, you want sniper. So you're going to keep going back in and playing. And I think this double and triple dip that you could do, I'm now looking at it that I'm more on the side of that I don't think it's fair it's being patched. Maybe, only have like 2 or 3 loots, or no, have like 3 loots per chest per game. So you complete it, you get 3 loots, that's it. You kick to orbit. That should be fine. 3 chances at, what you're trying to roll for would be perfect. But I think we're going to have to wait and see what the numbers come out like and what Destiny or Bungie say, oh, okay, we're going to now do this. I think it's something that they haven't stopped looking at and talking about as yet. I could be wrong. I mean, they still haven't improved Escalation Protocol, because this week when I was doing the Lumina quest, I went and did Escalation Protocol and I didn't get 1 weapon to drop. Not 1. And we were constantly farming that end level 7 boss. Nothing to drop. I got a couple of shaders, and I don't think anybody else in the group was. I was checking the feed. I don't think anybody else got any of the weapons to drop. And
the only weapon
that's
I'm
quite
still
hard.
missing on that is the sniper.
Mhm.
And it makes me mad because I have the shotgun of each elemental type. I have the submachine gun of each elemental type. And not only do I not have the sniper of each elemental type, I don't have the sniper Full stop. You know, and every time that sniper week comes, I farm the hell out of it. I never get the freaking sniper, and even with it being better now with the whole, you know, you can do 6 and then 7 and then 6 and 7 and 6 and 7 and 6 and 7 again, right? Even with that, the farming is still bad as far as I've come into contact, right? But like other things, like what you were talking about, I have an air intel and I have backup plan, under pressure, projectile fuse, and transmission MS7. So my range is 82 base with a range mod on it, right? So I practiced with it after you were talking to me about it, and yeah, you can completely destroy people from a sniper range almost. You know, it's bonkers. And then as far as like the Drang, I don't have the best roll, but I managed to get one with moving target and swashbuckler, right?
Yeah.
And I think I have my Callus mini tool. I got it to drop with surrounded and threat detector and staggering rounds. So when I take that into PvP and it's got a range mod on it, I take that into PvP and just erase people at a range that a submachine gun shouldn't be hitting people with. And by God, if we're playing capture anything, and I'd run up to a group of people capturing, that gun is going to take out 1 or 2 people before they get me, just because of the damage buff that I get from surrounded. You know, because I do have a surrounded spec on there. So that's a dirty little gun. So I mean, is it the God roll? No, but is it good enough to get me to stop farming it? Yeah. You know. But I mean, it's just all your luck, I guess. If you really want to put the time and effort to get that specific role you're looking for, yeah, it's going to take a very, very long time.
But that's one gun.
Even with exactly. Even with the multiple chests that we get now, imagine that, just getting the one chest every 30 minutes or so. That, by the way, isn't even free, like what you're talking about. You have to have the coin to get it, right? Not the coin, the things you feed into the chalice. Runes, thank you. So you're spending something in order to open that chest. So not only is it going to be more time consuming, but then you have to hope that you get the right runes on top of that. And if you keep the chest the way it is, let them farm to their heart's content. Guess what? They're going to run out of runes. They got to go play the game to go get them again. I think it's a great place. I don't think they should touch it at all.
I think what they should maybe do is just rotate the weapons out and have different armor in. You know, just give somebody something different to then keep going in, you know, and possibly re-roll to get different weapons and different rolls on those weapons.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think they should touch it in any way, shape, or form. I think it's in a good place, and I think they're poking the bear on this one, in my opinion. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Am I wrong? Probably. But I just think that they're doing things that is just going to the community. It's not going to have any positive bearing whatsoever. You know, you had people out there that were okay with the whisper nerf. They're like, oh no, it needed to be nerfed and this and that and the other. I don't think you're going to find anybody that's going to say this chest needed to be, you know, not nerfed, but fill in the blank, right? Yeah, it's just I don't think it's going to have
for
any
the average player who gets maybe 1 or 2 hours, maybe in the evening, maybe an hour. You know, put the kids to bed. I'm going to sit down and play with my friends for an hour. They'll only get like 2-3 runs of the menagerie. You know, they're not going to be farming it all night like some other people, and they're not guaranteed to going to get their god roll. They're going to be looking for different god rolls and getting different weapons and different armor pieces, but it's a kind of slow thing, and I think that's the problem, isn't it? That they've got to kind of cater to the really hardcore players that are going to be in their room for 8 hours playing this, or even streaming this, showing other people this is this and this is this. You've got to look out for this role, and then compared to the 1 or 2 hours,
the way it is, I think they are, you know, dedicating this to the hardcore players, right? Because the hardcore players are going to be farming this the most, and they're going to open the chest the most. But at the same time, they can't just spam farm it unless they have the runes to do so. So they got to go back and play more. I think that's a perfect way to do it. You know,
no, I agree.
Give them the ability to spam it, but at a cost of something. It's not a free chest, and I think that's what makes all the difference. If it was a free chest, nerf it, because that's overpowered, right? But considering how it is not a free chest, I think it's great the way it is. Don't touch it, Punji. I don't care who's telling you need to touch it. Don't do it. It's a trap. You're falling for a trap, man. Oh, Chimney Christmas. Is that it? I don't see
Yeah,
anything else in
that's
the
it.
notes.
That is the end
Wow,
of the show.
that's bonkers.
Very short and sweet. Very respawn-less show this week. Parody, it's over to you.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us this week. Your Titans have been Parody and Night Demon. Your hunters. No one responds in real life. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter.com. Hold on. See what alarm's going off. Try that again. Hit us up on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube. You can join the Frozen Clan at join.frozen.party. That's Frozen with a 0. Come to have a sandwich with us. You can find your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live. Hunt us down. Dance with us. Hug us. Again, we've still got that charity event going. Find us, hunt us down. We'll put you in the drawing for the fancy emblem. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Podcoin, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. I leave you struggling with internet connections, struggling to read a calendar. And remember, kids, the moon's haunted. Say bye, kids.
Bye, kids.
My kids aren't
what?
here.
That's why we said bye.
You guys know that old Jackie Chan cartoon from way back in the day?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, there was a cartoon that it had actual Jackie Chan in it. Yeah, and one of the characters in this cartoon was an old grandpa, right? It was his grandpa. And he would like go on this tangent, right? He'd tell people, "Hey, we need to do this and this and this and this," right? And then as they're walking away, one more thing. And they'd go into another tangent and they'd walk away. He goes, one more thing. So he would do that until they would basically just ignore him and walk away. So that I just imagine myself being in the booth. One more thing. Let me talk about how, X, Y, and Z made me angry. One more thing. Just, I don't know. It just came to my mind for some reason when you mentioned that.
That sounds perfect.